So if I'm fat because of mental or physical problems,
Okay.
is that a sin?
Let me dive into it.
Okay.
The physical part, you're right. You can have physical, like we've said earlier, like you can have health issues, medical issues that unfortunately cause you to be overweight.
Mm.
So no, I'm not going to sit here and say you're in sin because of that, right?
Okay.
Gluttony is specifically attached to overeating,
Oh.
right? It's specifically attached to excessiveness. There are people who are not excessive in their eating, but due to medical issues they have, are overweight.
Okay.
So that's not gluttony. There's individuals that have mental health issues, and whether that be mental, that be emotional, and they're overeating as a coping mechanism to deal with what's going on. That's not healthy.
Okay.
And I would say it's sin because it's not the best that God would have for them. Okay. And I think that's kind of when we get into like, when we're talking about people who, have mental health challenges and they're using food as a coping mechanism for dealing with their stress, their anxiety, their circumstances. And the overeating can kind of come in a couple of different ways. It can, one, be seen as like a reward for just getting through the day or for getting through a specific task that just seemed really challenging for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so you overeat as a reward, or you eat the wrong thing as a reward. You accomplish something and you're like, oh man, I was able to get through that. I was able to do that. That's a big deal.
Or too much drinking.
Yeah.
Same thing?
Same thing.
Okay.
Same thing. And so, I'll, drink too much, or I'll go and I'll have, or I deserve this candy bar, this large soda, this, that kind of thing. And then you have the other part of just coping with the stress and the anxiety, the disappointments of life, circumstances of life. And so you're eating, and unfortunately, unhealthy eating so often lends itself to more unhealthy eating, because you're burning through it's giving you energy to kind of make it. You burn through it, and then you need more, but you're associating what you need with unhealthy things.
Okay.
Yeah, and so there's all of those kind of things. Can I also say one other thing? This is not an excuse. This is just a reality that like eating healthy is very expensive.
True.
Right. And I'm not saying it's impossible at all, but I'm just saying that it's cheaper to eat unhealthy.
Oh, so are you saying, okay, so then my question would be, is being poor an excuse?
Yeah.
To be unhealthy?
Yeah. And I think it's a real question.
Okay.
That requires a lot of consideration, to be very honest.
Because it used to be the opposite.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
If you were poor, you were skinny.
Yeah.
And the rich people were fat.
Right. Absolutely.
But now it's the other way.
It's the other way around. Now you still have individuals that are, maybe living paycheck to paycheck as blue collar workers and working hard. So they're kind of burning through, they're burning through the calories, so it doesn't affect them as much. But like with so many jobs today being more sedentary type jobs, it has definitely caused a problem.
We should do the next podcast on a treadmill.
Let's do it.
Okay.
All right. So, and I think so.
We wouldn't be able to talk.
No, we would die. It'd be our final podcast.
Yeah.
But I think that, so I don't want to say it's an excuse, okay? But I wanted to say it's a reality to deal with now. And if you're an individual and you're receiving financial assistance and food stamps and those kind of things, then obviously trying to get food that not everything you're getting is unhealthy. Okay. would be a goal. But that'd be the goal for whether you're rich or you're poor, right? Because if you're rich and you don't care about the money, then same thing. Maybe you're using it to just get whatever you want to get, eating wise. And so therefore you end up in the same state of being overweight. And then again, some of it is just jobs. What are you doing? Well, you're not active during the day. You're sitting at the office all day, so you're not moving. And so therefore you're, the same kind of thing. That's not healthy. But getting back to like mental, I wanted to bring that in because I do think it's a part of the equation. But getting back specifically to the mental health challenges, I think that I would ask individuals that are who are using food as a coping mechanism, let's get healthy in our emotions.
Okay.
And that will probably lead to a health in how we were responding to food. Like, in other words, I think it'd be really hard to take someone who's using it as a coping mechanism and just say, stop eating. Like, that's going to be really hard for that person. But if we go, all right, let's go through a journey of getting healthy in our emotions, healthy mentally, and it can get back even like to loving ourselves. All right, now I don't need that food to bring me some sense of security or some sense of, calmness or okayness, quote unquote. So I do think so I'm not going to sit here and look at like someone I think this is we have to be careful. We can't just look at everyone that's overweight and be like, you sinner, right?
Okay.
But do I think that I am in sin for overeating, for eating the wrong things, knowing I shouldn't eat those things, but doing it anyway? And it is impacting me negatively in my body. And I'm thinking like about me personally right now. Yeah, that's sin. That's missing the mark. That's not stepping into what everything God would have for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So do I need to lose 50 pounds? Yes. Right. But I've got to own that and then begin to work through that. So.
All right. Well, it's the beginning of the year, so
we're going to make New Year's resolutions.
Let's do it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
These things never work.
Nope. That's because everybody else did the same thing.
No.